Day 3 of tarot breakdowns. Pulled up on your screen right now, you see the Three of Pentacles. If you have watched my previous videos, you'd be aware that this deck that is pictured is my own personal deck. So if you see some ragged looking cards, just know that they are well loved and well used. So, let's jump right into it. As with the previous cards, Pentacles is going to be ruled by Earth. There are some deeper details into that, but let's move right along. Signs associated with this card are going to be second decan Capricorn. So this is between December 31st and January 9th. And I have my show notes here, so if it sounds like I'm reading, sometimes I am. But I wrote them, so no plagiarism here. Keywords describing this card are going to be learning, dedication, collaboration, teamwork, commitment, continued effort, determination, and regular old effort. That's funny. Parts of the body associated with the Three of Pentacles is going to be a holistic approach to the entire body. That includes body, mind, and spirit. More detail on that is the sinuses are going to be highlighted in this, and also the male reproductive organs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the whole junk. Any positive or negative connotations to this card on a yes or no question, we're going to probably be leaning towards yes. Overall, this card is pretty positive. It's got a lot of great energy to it. It's really one of those cards that when you pull it, you know that you're kind of like on the right path. That's going to be your confirmation card and stuff of that nature. Elemental suggestions. The element of Earth rules Pentacles. We all know this. That's body, tangible, palpable, finances, the home, things that you own, things that you can see, touch, taste, those sort of things. All right. Its influence, this card is influenced by Mars in Capricorn. So not just that you have this Earth thing, but you also have Mars in Capricorn, which is that second decan Capricornian sort of energy there. And in balanced Earth is suggestion here. Now, if you went back to the first Ace of Pentacles reading that we did, we talked a bit about underactive Earth element, overactive Earth element, and well-balanced Earth element. The Three of Pentacles is going to be a well-balanced Earth energy that can sort of lean underactive, but really, in general, it's going to be pretty balanced. When the Three of Pentacles is present in a reading, collaboration and effort is suggested. So this is like team projects, apprenticeship, and maybe you're getting some on-the-job training. It's these different kind of elements of learning to master the skill, or even doing something like this. So, practicing making YouTube videos. I am not good at this. I'm fully aware that I'm not a YouTuber or even proficient at video editing, as you all may tell. But the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm practicing at it and I'm trying to learn new skills when it comes to this sort of thing, that in and of itself is a Three of Pentacles energy. So if there's something that you've been working on that you're trying to master, or at least learn the most that you can, that's going to be pretty close to the meaning of this card. Now, in love, the Three of Pentacles is going to suggest that you probably are going to be ready for a commitment, or you're in a commitment, and that it's mutual, and that there's mutual effort being put in on both sides. Being open to counseling or relationship mediation is healthy if you are having some relationship issues, but in general, the Three of Pentacles is probably going to talk about you guys being on the right vibe and collaborating together on things. Now, taking an interest in your partner or potential partner, if you're single, this is pretty general, is the key to success here. Asking them questions, being involved, willingness to work towards a common goal, just make sure that you're on the level. That's really what this card should be called, is on the level. But, if you're single, this could be, this card, when you pull it in a reading, it could mean that potential partners are coming up. It could mean that maybe you're in a space in your life where you're feeling like you have put in the work, you have learned the things you need to learn, maybe you've done some self-work, whatever it may be, and that your readiness and your willingness to maybe accept new potential partners is kind of coming up to the standard where you're going to want it to be. And it's possible that through this card you meet people through work or school or that kind of atmosphere, so that generalized energy of education and learning and mastery and this kind of energy here. As far as career and finance goes, hard work, right, is going to be the basis of pretty much all of what you do. Now, I'm not talking about grinding and working 60 hours a week for nothing. When I talk about hard work, I mean putting yourself into something, really dedicating yourself to an activity. That's going to be the hard work that we're really looking at. So, it, dedication are the beginning. Hard work and dedication are kind of the beginnings to show the first sign of payoff here, right? So this is when you first get that, maybe you get that dollar raise after the first 90 days when they look at you and go, oh, you did a great job, here you go. So this is that initializing of moving forward. You know, when you place good attention to detail and like a high acuity in your work life, that's going to be noticed by people, right? It's very important that your work ethic and your persistence is really what's going to set you up for the best outcomes here. Personal satisfaction is going to be a massive element to this card. Suggestions for the Three of Pentacles, and like I said, most of what I am talking about in these videos is going to be my personal opinion with a little bit of what the book says, and I'm double checking things to make sure that I'm not filling your guys' head with fluff, but most of what I'm talking about here is not going to be your generalized accepted standard for tarot reading. It's going to be a lot of my own personal stuff, and whether you like it and it vibes with you or you don't, that's up for you to decide. You're welcome to disregard everything I say. But let's just talk a little bit about the suggestions of the Three of Pentacles. When the Three of Pentacles is present in a reading, it is wise to examine the work ethic and dedication that you have towards the situation, right? Also in matters of health, and most of my tarot readings, I'm going to be looking at the body, I'm going to be looking at the mental state, I'm going to be looking at where they're at in their life when it comes to like their emotions. I really want to dive deeper than just surface stuff when I'm doing a reading. So I like to take a look pretty closely at health and matters of health. So in matters of health, we're looking at a holistic approach. I think we mentioned that a little bit before. And wellness, proper diet, exercise, a good sleep regimen, self-care, these kind of things, because you're going to want this mind, body, spirit alignment, excuse me, when it comes to this card. And if the person you're reading for, and I'm going to call them a sitter in this case, and in some other schools they'll say querent, but I like to use the word sitter just because I do more than tarot, and most of the people that I work with, we refer to them as sitters. If the sitter is having sinus issues per se, because I think we talked up at the beginning of this video about the sinuses being highlighted. If they're having sinus issues, it's a good idea to ask about the daily irritants they have in their life, the little things that irk them that they have a tendency to kind of shove down and not communicate their needs clearly, because a lot of the irritations we have in our life and little tiny resentments and things like that can manifest in sinus issues. And connection to other people is going to be a big one here. How do they talk to other people? How do they interact with people? Are they great communicators? Do they work well in teams? Are they, able to be a part of a team? These are things that we're going to want to kind of dive a little bit into while reading for somebody. Now, sometimes further inspection into potentially using work as a measuring tool for self-worth and value can come from not being able to express themselves when they were younger. Let's examine this just a little bit closer. When we're young and we don't have a place where our needs or our emotions or our opinions or thoughts or feelings or whatever are in a safe place to be expressed, sometimes as an adult we can train ourselves not to properly communicate our needs, right? And not to be able to work things out with people because we have no frame of reference for what it's like. Either we were trained to believe that that speaking up for yourself or trying to address issues there in the moment is going to cause retaliation. And thus we end up swallowing a lot of that and shoving it down. So I would definitely take a deeper look into how they communicate and work in teams. Now, when this card's pulled in reverse, and I'm going to say this probably every card that I do, because you never know who's going to jump in the middle of these instead of listen from beginning to end. I do not read reverse meanings as negative aspects of the cards or what the books say. When I pull a card in reverse, I'm going to immediately think that this is happening inside of a person, their internal process, rather than external to this person. Because it's possible when you're pulling the Three of Pentacles in a group setting, that could literally mean that teamwork, that group project, those sort of things. But when you're pulling it in reverse, it could be about how they view teams, how they view being able to work with other people, and it could be some reservations towards opening up and communicating needs and being able to participate in things fully. They may be hyper focusing on productivity as a distraction from addressing some of their lingering feelings about connection and acceptance. So ask questions about their work-life balance, see if they may be avoiding any talks in their home life that need to take place. Sometimes people who hyper focus on productivity will use that as a gauge of their worth. So if they're producing money and if they're highly busy all the time and they're doing these things constantly, somewhere back in the day, there was probably a person who took work as equal to value. And the Three of Pentacles overall is going to be a fantastic card, but when it's pulled in reverse, I really want to take a look closer at their relationship to work, life, productivity, things like this. And there's other cards that mean very similar things when you're pulling them. This one in particular is really about their ability to work in teams and with other people. And I think communication is going to be a big part of this. So depending on the surrounding cards, and as we get a little further into these readings, we will start talking about when cards talk to each other. But for now, if this card is pulled in reverse in your reading, ask questions about, how do you feel about working in teams? What was your, favorite group project when you were in school growing up and stuff like that. So you can begin to gauge how they view partnership and collaboration and stuff like that. And if they begin to talk about things that irritate them when they're working in groups, or why they can never trust anybody when they're trying to have a team project and stuff because nobody carries their weight and they have to do it all. These are things you're really going to want to take a look at, because once you really get into that, you're going to start to be able to see the bigger picture here and their relationship to having trust in people, communication in people, and there's a lot to be said about that. So for now, I'm going to wrap this up, and tomorrow is going to be the Four of Pentacles, and I will see you then. Love ya. Be blessed.